It is 6:08, and I call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Orlando Navarro, present.
Minidora Haynes, present.
Fred Villarreal, present.
Joe Lopez, present.
Thank you. First order of business is, thank you very much. There's an agenda.
Oh, I keep doing it.
I was going to try to read it from up there.
There you go.
Discussion and possible action to recommend to the Board of Trustees approval allocating funds from the 2013 bond proceeds for building various facilities improvements and upgrades at J.B. Alexander High School.
Good evening.
Members of the Bond Oversight Committee, Madam Chair, members of the audience. We bring to you this item tonight requesting approval from the committee to recommend to the Board of Trustees reallocating funds from the 2013 bond program from actually accumulated surplus funds for two completed projects. And this will be, we'll go over that in a second, but for a total amount of $1,338,449. And the purpose would be to use these building funds for various other projects at Alexander High School. As you know, in the 2013 bond master plan, we had included several projects that include the construction of a band hall, the addition of an ag science building, addition of career and technology classrooms, as well as an ROTC area with classrooms and locker rooms, showers for students, as well as we did have some parking lots, driveways, and utilities. But after we purchased the property adjacent to Alexander High School, we purchased 16 acres. That gave us more opportunities to really work on a master plan for Alexander High School that will take into account not only what we need now, but for the future. So we kind of redesigned, not with this property, we redesigned the entire master plan, and we'll show that in a second. But as you see on that worksheet, basically to be able to complete all of the projects that we're proposing to the committee tonight, it would be an approximate cost of $8,240,000. The original bond program included $4,703,000 for the 5 projects that we listed on the worksheet. Item number 6 really has to do with a new street that was never in the original program. It has to do more with the purchase of that property adjacent to Alexander. The 2 projects that we've identified that really have been pretty much completed at this point, and we're ready to close. As a matter of fact, on the elementary school, number 27, Veterans Memorial, we do have one more item to do the final close-up of the project. But once that project is closed, and once the final project requests are contemplated, we're looking at approximately $861,000 that we will have available surplus on the entire project. Now, that does not include furniture, equipment, or technology. That's actually only surplus for construction for the school. The same for a second project is Gutierrez Elementary School. We did have an air conditioning project that was completed last summer, and we're doing the fire alarm upgrades this semester. But once everything is done, we do have a balance of $477,000. So when you add those 2 projects, surplus fund, we have about $1,338,000. If you take that amount from the $3,536,000 that we are requesting to fund all the projects that we have identified on the master plan, we're looking at about $2,198,000 of funding that we would need for bond projects. Now I'd like to go over certain other projects that are listed here on the second part of the worksheet. By the way, this worksheet is in your packet. These are other projects that have been requested by a group of teachers, committee members, administrators, as well as parents for Alexander High School, and involve these 3 projects. One has to do with a tennis court, pavilion, and canopy. Basically a project to upgrade the current existing facilities to bring it up to par with what we have at other campuses. And that's approximate cost of $700,000. It would equalize it to exactly what the other high schools have. Restrooms, and it's really mainly all of it for our students. Restrooms for boys and girls, area for the tennis the tennis courts in that facility, including a canopy. Now, the second item is to relocate the softball field and batting cage. Currently, what we've been encountering at Alexander High School and through the past years is a lot of flooding issues related to our detention pond just being undersized due to all the growth, not only at our Alexander High School, but around the perimeter of our properties. And everything goes and funnels eventually through our property and then to Alexander Estates. So we end up every time we have a major rainfall with the softball field underwater for several weeks. So that's another improvement we're contemplating. And last but not least, number third, is the renovation of the main entrance of Alexander High School. There's also a request that's come from the community to kind of give it an upgrade to our latest standards of our other high schools. That's one of our oldest high schools, and really the entrance needs to be upgraded for security reasons and also to give it a more focused entrance point. So those, once you add all of these non-bond projects, we're looking at $1,922,000. So at the summary recap on the bottom of the worksheet that the finance department put together, and we're looking at bond projects that would be funded related to the original bond projects. We're looking at $2,198,000, and then the non-bond projects of $1,922,000. So there's approximately $4,120,000 that we're requesting to be funded through the general fund. And then in the future, as projects get closed, we will have a resolution to reimburse some of the bond projects in the amount of $2,198,000 back into the bond program, through the general fund.
We've done this in the past where we go to the board and ask for a resolution saying if bond proceeds are available towards the end of the bond program, once all the other projects have been done, that we allow ourselves to reimburse the general fund from excess bond proceeds. Again, currently we're going to fund all these projects out of the general fund. We're going to cash flow $4,120,000. Of that amount, the $2,198,000 is what we'll probably take to the board in a resolution saying if bond proceeds are available, if there's savings at the end of the building program, we'd like to reimburse the general fund for these bond-related projects. Currently, since they weren't there initially, we're going to fund it through the general fund.
And those monies already budgeted, or are you going to have to?
We're going to have to do a budget amendment in order to be able to cash flow these projects over the next few years, probably four years.
Fund balance, or?
That's correct. That's correct. At this point, it'll be coming out.
What's the percentage of your fund balance right now?
We're at what, 3 months worth? A little less than 3 months worth of
Yeah.
expenditures. So we're
Over the 15%, that's, I guess, typically
Oh, yes.
not required, but I guess recommended, right?
Yes,
Well,
we're-
yeah, we have a bond, we have a policy where we need to set aside about 1 month, like, not commit about a month of expenditures, excuse me. So that's kind of like our savings, but we're about 2 to 2.5 months worth of those in our bond. In our general fund, it's not tied up into any project, so.
It's not committed to anything. It's
Yeah.
unencumbered. So our fund balance is healthy. I don't think we'll have any issues cash flow in this.
Especially if it does, if you look at the construction schedule, it's gonna be like a 2-year period, and sometimes we do have some savings and some budget line items such as, vacancies, unexpended, budget. So, cash flow wise, we know we can do it. We'd like to have
The
some of
reimbursement
it back.
process to take place,
We'd like to
right?
have
Yes.
some of it back.
And it's also, remember, it's considering this $1,338,000 of already surplus funds called savings that have been already achieved, and to using those funds also as part of the funding of these additional projects. At this time, I'd like to show you, just to go over the master plan and kind of explain the logistics on this entire project. And we've been working with 2 different architectural firms and staff from that campus to come up with the overall master plan. What we're showing here is the new fine arts building that is part of the bond program. We also have the Ag Science building and facilities, the FFA complex, also part of the bond program. And we have the ROTC and career technology areas, which will be built where the band hall currently is located, inside the building. Of course, it has to be gutted out and completely remodeled. So it's kind of like a domino effect. It's a sequence of events.
So it's an indoor shooting range?
I'm sorry?
Yes.
It's an indoor shooting range?
Yes, as part of the ROTC, we have an indoor rifle shooting range.
Wow.
But it's totally insulated,
Yeah.
safe. But originally, the bond program, just to refresh our memories, but this fine arts building was originally going to be located right here. And the ag science building was supposed to be located at this point. And the ROTC was going to be located actually right here. So it was kind of very cramped location because all this traffic was going to be generated. But at that point, we didn't have the 16 additional acres that were recently purchased by the district. And that was one of the reasons our board of trustees and the administration supported the purchase of this property to be able to work on a very efficient master plan that would allow us not only to build these facilities that we need, but for future growth.
And this gives us 60 acres, I believe, at Alexander, which is comparable to the three other high schools, which are sitting on about 60 acres.
This was the only school that had 45 acres versus the other high schools, correct? They have 60 to 65 acres. So what we're looking at right now, in order to move the fine arts building to this new proposed location, much more ample space and more efficient as far as circulation for the band of trailers and buses. This will allow us to build a loop around it. Now, in order to build this facility here instead of in this little space, we're having to displace about 120 student parking spaces. Currently, our parking space area for students is all of this area up to this point. This building could not be started until the parking spaces are built elsewhere. So next August, when kids come back for fall 2016, there's plenty and sufficient parking spaces in compliance with the city ordinance. So what we're proposing is building student parking area right here. Right now, this parking lot actually ends about midway to this whole facility. So we would double the spaces. Additionally, we would add parking spaces in this location. And that would equal the numbers that we're going to be losing or displacing by construction of a new fine arts or band hall in this location.
What's the Monte picture right there in the top? What's that gonna be?
This right here, currently,
over here? Next to the new agriculture complex?
That's owned by somebody else.
this,
Really?
these 2 acres unfortunately are not owned by the district. So it's another owner from Mexico.
Fine.
I mean, it would be great if we actually owned it. That would allow us to place a building closer to the main building.
I would assume you've already tried to approach it a whole bit.
We're looking at.
Okay.
So once these parking spaces get relocated, and we're starting, hopefully, if the committee approves this and the board approves this master plan, we will start early next year, January, February, the latest, to get it completed by July of 2016. Now, what will happen also as part of this displacement, we, in order to get power, electrical, utilities, and everything that is needed for this building, currently our main electrical power goes right through here. So we have to completely relocate main electrical service. Currently, it comes from Del Mar and goes through here to a transformer and then goes to our main building. So all of that is also contemplated for next summer to be relocated to this area. In addition to starting this construction, we have the ag science now in the located in the new 16 acres that were recently purchased. That really allows us much better spacious area for the FFA program. Based on our other 2 high schools where we have that program, you really need quite a bit of space to maneuver with trailers, with animals, tractors, equipment, the greenhouse. We have animal pens. So we're building a small little circulation path through here with parking spaces and then the greenhouse, animal pens. We're proposing this driveway to extend it to this point at the very least so that we can have access to the building and vehicles. Now, as part of this master planning, if you notice on the worksheet, we had item number 6 called the in-use street east of the property. We're talking about this UIC property building a street which will eventually be actually a public street. It has to be a public street because of the adjacent properties. This is part of the master plan that would have a public street go all the way to Mayela, which currently kind of dead ends at this point. But at this phase of the project right here, it's Mayela, I think that ends right there. There's an eventual master plan by Alexander to extend Mayela and connect to this road and eventually connect, I believe, to another street that goes to Bob Boulevard.
University Boulevard?
I'm not sure the name of the street, but
What's their timeline on that road?
really don't know. I don't think they have a timeline that they've given us, but I know it's in their master plan. Now, as part of this road, we met with the city and they approved this overall master plan, but we would have to connect to Del Mar, maybe have a little deceleration turning lane. But this would be very beneficial for students to be able, and parents to exit through here, especially if you have all this 300 or 400 students parked here, that will be another secondary exit. And with traffic control there, you can make a right turn to Del Mar and go to Bapuluk Loop, north or south. We have quite a bit of students who live in those areas that could go through here. At the same time, it would give us a very good access for the Ag Science building, for all students coming in here with trailers and trucks. Instead of having to go through the loop, they could enter through here. We have our own gate at this point that we would control. So all of this is part of the overall on the project budget that I went over at the beginning. The other development that we have as part of this whole master plan is relocate. Currently, we have the softball field is located in this area, right between the batting cage, serves both the softball and baseball field. As you can see, the detention pond right now is this green area. Our civil engineers could calculate it, and we really need to increase it by about 200%. It's just, that's why actually our softball field is currently serving as a unofficial or default detention pond. But this would be reconstructing this detention pond as part of this cost estimate that we provided. Allowing all of this drainage underground as well as these blue lines to come all the way from our parking space. We do have a flooding problem here, which will be resolved, coming in through here and connecting all of these underground lines, including these driveways, all the way to the detention pond. So it will benefit the entire 60-acre tract. In order to carry this out, we have to relocate the softball field and batting cages for our girls, students, and this is part of the project cost estimate that we have. Again, this has to happen first until it's 100% operational and students can start using it. Then we can start construction of the detention pond. So again, it's another sequence of events that needs to happen. In order to get this softball field, again, this is not a competition field, they're just practice fields. But we need to bring power, we need to bring electricity, water, sewer, as well as lighting for security lighting and sidewalks for ADA access. So we have all of this contemplated as part of the bond projects because this whole bond, the upgrade is a direct result of parking spaces that we're having to
Actually, the softball field, that construction will not be bonded.
That will not be part of the bond.
That's going to be general fund.
Be out of the general fund because it's really an improvement over what we have. But we have to do this to extend or expand
To do a bond program.
the detention pond, which is due to the bond program. Because we're adding quite a bit of parking, a lot of roof areas, driveways, roof areas, and all of these asphalt are increasing considerably our runoff. And if you consider what we have right now, we already have an undersized pond. All of these additional drainage structures or surface structures will generate even more runoff. So all of that is taken into account as part of this master plan. The last part, which is not really out of the bond, but just took over the whole master plan, is this tennis pavilion and canopy that will be built to upgrade our tennis courts facilities, as well as once all of that is done, the last phase, once the band hall is relocated and students are using it, then we're going to go inside that area and renovate it completely. to provide career technology programs. It's a health science and an oil and gas production or other career technology programs, as well as the ROTC classrooms and shooting range and showers. But that'll be the last phase. We're looking at approximately until 2017 to complete this whole project.
I have a question. Just for discussion, the ag facility, it's up near Del Mar, and a lot of times, having the animals kind of in the public eye, has it ever been considered to maybe put that ag facility and everything where the softball field is, and maybe move the softball field up?
Well, they don't leave the animals overnight. It's only they bring them in the egg class time and they take them home.
Yeah, we'll confirm that, but they usually bring them in so that, teach them how to shear, clip hooves and so on, and then they take them back to wherever they're keeping their animal projects.
Just to keep them away from, because they work late into the night, there and stuff like that. You have all the traffic of the cars and everything.
Sure.
Sometimes away from all that busy stuff. I'm just saying. I wasn't in it today, so I can't tell you. But I was just, it's up there by the traffic, and if that's going to be the exit,
We were.
well, so I kind of looked your way, looking your way to see if
Yeah, again, they bring in, they keep their animals in a different location. They bring them in during the day to work on them, and then they'll take them back.
We couldn't even bring them in. We had to go to that location off of Garfield Street.
Actually, behind Sola Española.
Back there, yeah.
I can hear the coyotes now.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the other thing is just the distance from the practice field for the girls softball to the parking lot where a student parks their car. If you're suggesting that the student parking is most of it's going to be moved to the top of it.
Well, most of it will still be here and here.
So the girls would actually change
They have locker rooms
where?
right by the,
Basketball
to the
gym.
left of the fine arts building in that area right there. That's where
Right,
the
the gym.
gym, where the gym is
And
at.
then they come out, and they
Gym is
walk,
here.
then they'll walk across past the tennis courts down to the
Here.
softball field.
Correct.
That's what they do now, down here at the detention pond.
Actually, right now, they
Basically,
come
they're
in
pretty much the
this
same
way,
thing.
they cross, and they come over here.
They're 16, 17-year-old, they're not our age. so
But it's just, it's.
Well, the
Just
restroom
discuss.
pavilion at the tennis courts is kind of centrally located, and that's really gonna be, like, that can help the band and the
Yeah.
softball.
It's
I
really
think we're just
central
working-
located.
Yeah.
It's
We're
really
working with
for
it.
everyone.
With as many
Yeah.
places as we can, and,
The long-term master plan, and the reason we have this for future development is one day, if we need more space to build additional facilities, whether career technology or any other type of instructional facilities that would be built at this location, this baseball field will be located right here. This soccer field, we're leaving space right here. So that basically there'll be a line, everything located to the east of this football field will be all athletics. Concentrate all of the athletic areas right here
Yeah.
with a centralized restroom pavilion for all of them. Because there's also a field house here which is available for boys and girls. We have weight rooms for boys and girls. It's centralized also, but this will provide a good area for all athletics. Eventually this road, there can be access through here for parents or any visitors to come and watch practice.
What did you say the future development was gonna be?
Well, it's open area for anything that is needed as campus grows over the next 20, 25 years.
Because I know that in that area where the baseball field's out right now, it does not irrigate very well at all.
Right, no, it would be for like future buildings. If we have to
Buildings.
build any, let's say auto mechanic shop or any career technology or instructional classrooms, whatever may be needed. But all this will be future. These buildings that you see right now located here, those are portable classroom buildings. All those are gonna go away once we open the 9th grade campus. As well as when we move the band hall from inside to this area, we're gonna create space for about 6 classrooms inside the building. I don't know if anybody else has any questions. There's in your packet also a timeline of every one of the phases, just for your information.
How much more land is available around there?
Actually, I think that they just
Other than 2 acres.
East of us all the way to the
Yes. Everything that's east of Alexander High School to the loop has been recently sold by Alexander Estates to some developers from Mexico.
All the way to the loop.
All the way to the loop. That is for, I don't know how many acres that is, but
Lot.
So the only thing available is that
Right here.
little,
yes, that's right here.
Oh,
And we're already approaching those landowners.
When you lend money, in this case, lend money to a project, there's no terms to that lending, like interest or anything. You're just, it's just straight out, we'll use it and we'll just get our money back.
That's correct. Which is not so bad in the current interest environment that we're in, to the point where we're not losing a whole lot, but
if y'all don't have any more questions for Mr. Rangel, I'd like to entertain a motion. Anybody?
Motion, please, just state the motion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would need a motion to recommend to the Board of Trustees approval of the allocation of funds from the 2013 bond proceeds for building various facility improvements and upgrades at John B. Alexander High School.
I motion that we approve that.
I'll second the motion.
Do you need to split the nets or whatever? Those-
Mr. Rangel,
Yes, sir.
with that motion being said, and me being a parent of a student at Alexander, and one of the things that we could really concentrate on
Hey, wait a
there.
minute. We have a motion and a second on the floor.
But there can be discussion. though.
Yeah,
Just a
now the discussion,
discussion,
now the
just a
discussion.
discussion.
Yeah, after we say that, then we say.
And one of the things that can really be concentrated on is the traffic. You know, I don't know if moving that area of parking to the front is gonna create more traffic. Because there's times, for example, when it rained a couple of weeks ago, I think the traffic was backed up all the way to Walgreens,
Whoa.
coming from McPherson and Del Mar. Now, I usually come the back loop area, so it's a little faster, but I know, you know, first couple of days and of school, it gets really, really bad. So I think we've always thought of that east area to maybe move them out that way towards the loop and stuff, but if we can just concentrate on that, that'd be great.
We discussed that, sir, with the administration at that campus, principal and staff and assistant principals. One of the concerns they had about having parking for student parking too far to the east for the security and safety, they wanted it as close as possible to the main building.
Yeah.
I know it's not ideally on the other perspective on traffic, but I think with this master plan, if that road heading east is eventually open,
That would help.
that's going to be a very big relief because now you're talking about pretty much the entire student parking area that we're looking at being rerouted, and that's what the principal was planning on. All of these student parking, I'm sorry, all the student parking area to be rerouted through this road.
Exactly.
They would be taken completely out of the loop. That would be a big benefit.
So the left turn will be
Yeah,
over here.
that-
I think right now, after school, they use this as a two-way traffic, in and out. That creates more also bottlenecking here, but that's really the best option they have.
Yeah, right now, yes.
So that's one. Also keep in mind the ninth grade, when it opens, that's gonna help a lot because a lot of parents, there's a lot of school bus riders, but many parents go pick them up. And that also creates, traffic bottleneck there on the loop, so.
Would you be closing that entrance to the main?
This one?
Door to the main, no, the one to the left of that, the double, that
Yes,
one?
that one, normally they close it
It's always closed.
after school hours, nobody goes in and out through there, or during the day, nobody goes in.
That parking.
There's,
Or you know, the two on the
They
sides
close
are
this,
closed,
and
and
they
that's
open
the one
this.
that's open during school hours.
during school hours, they lock this gate,
Exactly.
they
the two
lock
on the
this one, and
sides.
everybody has to go in and
You have
out
to
through
go
here
into
where we
the-
have the guardhouse. After school hours, they lock this and they open the loop. So,
Now, when you said update the appearance, would that be at the guardhouse in that area?
actually, no, sir, that would be right at the main entrance of the building, the building entrance. And that's another project that would not be funded through bond fund, it's a general fund. But it's something that really the community has been asking parents and staff.
kind of update the look of the main entrance. Make it look a bit aesthetically pleasing, a bit more aesthetically pleasing.
We have a motion and a second. to approve the Board of Trustees for orders at J.B. Alexander High School. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, motion carries.
Thank you.
Next, we have discussion and possible action to recommend to the Board of Trustees approval of final change order number 3 for Line Decker Construction for design build contract for Veterans Memorial Elementary School.
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the bond committee, and members of the audience. This item that we bring to you tonight for consideration is actually the final close-up of the project. And we want to do it as a change order to close the final accounting and the final loose ends on this project. As you know, Veterans Memorial Elementary School was opened this fall, and very successful opening of our campus. Now that we've started using for the last 2 months our school, there's a couple of items that the major one of this final change order is an item that was requested by curriculum and instruction. They're recommending that we upgrade our teachers' closets at every classroom to allow for better security of all the iPads and mobile devices. Currently, the district purchased a safe, a large box, but we want to place that inside the teachers' closets. On their pattern lock, it's a lot more secure. And in order to do that, one of the items we have to do is provide electrical connections inside the teacher's closet. Typically, the closets don't have just a light. So we want to add electrical at all 48 classrooms. So that's a cost that has been proposed by Line Decker for this project, and at a cost of $33,000. You see it right here listed under the proposal, $33,312. Of course, keep in mind that's for close to 50 classrooms, and it's quite a bit of electrical that has to be added. And the way these charging stations work, every day after school, teachers will go ahead and load all the iPads on this unit, and they get automatically charged overnight. So in the morning, students are ready to be able to use them.
With the increase in the number of iPads that we'll be issuing out to the students, or will be available to the students in the classroom setting, teachers felt a little bit more comfortable if they're able to take those iPads at the end of the day and put them inside the closet and lock it. But they will be held accountable for all those iPads that are issued per classroom. And so yeah, it's like anything else. As you start using a new facility, say, you know, this would work good, so maybe, why don't we add this and why don't we add that? So curriculum instruction, specifically our Associate Superintendent for Curriculum, David Rosales, said that was a good idea. It helps the teacher remain accountable for those iPads that are issued to them in the classroom.
The other 2 items we have, they're smaller items, but they're here listed. The first one is parking lot striping modifications. One of the things that the maintenance department requested is to modify the way those stripes or striping is actually painted over the concrete. Typically, when it's asphalt, it would be okay to have white lines, but since we upgraded our parking spaces to concrete, having white paint on concrete is not very visible. It's very high maintenance. So what they requested is if possible to have a black line first painted and then the white painted over the black line. That allows much better visibility during the day. Here's a photograph of how it looks. So that's another item we're requesting. And then the last and final item is some other data drops that were requested by the campus administration with a value of approximately $7,000. And it's just various areas throughout the campus where once they moved in, they realized, okay, we need an interactive flat panel, for example, in the multi-purpose room, where sometimes they bring students. In other areas, they need a projection screen. In the teacher's workroom, they needed more data drops for their printing and copy machines. So we walked room by room with the campus principal and staff, and these are the requests we put together. So at this point, to go back to the accounting of the project, I guess on the agenda item, which is the first page, there we go. At this point, once everything is completed, if you look under budgetary, we have a current construction remaining balance, unexpended, unencumbered, of $851,000. With the current design cost remaining balances, meaning the architects and engineering fees that have been unexpended, unencumbered, is a balance, a true balance that we're not going to use anymore, of $61,000. it comes to a total of approximately $912,000 of cost savings or unexpended and unencumbered. What we're proposing at this time is to close the project with a change order of value of $44,714. That will leave us a balance to close the project of $867,339 unencumbered, unexpended for construction and design. Like I mentioned earlier, there's still other funds remaining, as you can see on your financial report, for furniture, equipment, as well as technology, but we're not touching that because we want to wait later on to see if there's any other needs that teachers may have. But as far as construction, pretty much this will do it, and we'll be able to close the project. With this 867,000 was the number that we're tying into the Alexander project that we could raise.
Alexander?
Do y'all have any other questions for Mr. Van Head? If not, I'd like to entertain a motion.
Well, just, this is good information, good insight, because the teachers are now there, they're getting a feel for this. Is this information being transferred to the architects and stuff
Yes.
like that, so they can do a walkthrough again and kind of look at their design? side?
Correct.
The remaining GMP, well, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe not 28, but the elementary schools after that, all this cost information will be included in the GMP.
Just so that
The
they get.
design is going to be carried over to the future
Exactly.
prototypes.
Now, the next one that we're already under construction on number 28, since this request came after the fact when you all approved it, or the board approved the GMP, that's already under construction. What we're going to be proposing is 44,000, approximately the same type of things, to be funded out of the contingency allowance for that project. We haven't,
So they do it while they're in there?
Yes, correct.
Right.
Would you like Mr. Troutman to state the motion?
Sure.
Yeah, the recommendation is for the Bond Oversight Committee to recommend for the UISD Board of Trustees approval of the final change order number 3 for Linedecker Construction of Texas Incorporated for design build contract for Veteran Memorial Elementary School in the amount of $44,714.20.
So move.
Second.
We have a
Thank
motion
you.
and a second. All those in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? Thank you. Motion carries. Next, the informational item. Oh, somebody put the page.
Elementary 28 goes first?
How are we going to do it? How come I don't have one? I only have a second page. Okay, anyway, sorry. Discussion and informational items. Mr. Alanis.
Yes, good evening, Madam Chair, members of the Bond Oversight Committee, members of UISD Administration. Ignacio Alanis, UISD Director of Construction Management, reporting on the bond project status. The first project that to report is Elementary School number 28 on Highway 359. The progress to date is 12% completion, and the completion date is March 31st, 2017. Okay, with the architects and as well as the construction management department have conducted several site visits to review the progress of construction, and the following site work activities are noted. In the area, and as always, you'll see the legend at the bottom of the page to identify the spaces that are being worked on. Area A, the general structural fill has been completed. The plumbing rough-in has been completed as well under the slab and continuing into Area B. All stormwater lines have been placed and backfilled and compacted, and reinforcing steel has been fabricated and is on site. Trenching for the beams is ongoing. The electrical under slab conduit is being placed in this area. For areas C and D in the central courtyard, the general movement and placement of fill material has been ongoing, and the electrical under slab conduit is being placed in areas B and C. And general movement and placement of fill is ongoing as well on the site. And these are some views of different areas of the site, showing some of the descriptions I just gave.
Is that sun up or sun down that you're there taking those pictures?
That's on Saturday.
Saturdays
and Sundays.
Holidays, weekends, yes.
Both.
So as you can see, there's a lot of under slab, underground work in progress. as well as fine grading of the site. Any questions on 28? Okay, moving on to, yeah, we can move on. This is one of the Seymour projects that we recently started as part of the bond project as well. This is our elementary school classroom 1 addition and parking lot expansion. This is at 5% completion, and completion date is June 30th, 2016. Okay. On this project, the site work has been in progress, and as you can see, that's the area of the wing. The building pad is already completed, and we have grade beam trenches being dug in the general vicinity. All the portable buildings that were there before have been relocated or have been moved out of the way to allow for this construction. Any questions on John Arndt? All right. Going on to the third project. The Troutman Elementary School Classroom 1 addition and main building renovation. This project is currently 5% complete, and the contractual completion date for the classroom wing and HVAC and new restrooms is August 2016, and it's a 2-phase type of project. The administration offices and enclosed breezeway is scheduled for December 31st, 2016. Okay. On this project, the protection around the site building area, exiting from the existing classroom wing, is in place. The slab excavation has been cut and proof rolled and is ready for placement of structural fill material. Site utilities have been rerouted around the building pad and otherwise installed for the classroom addition ready for testing. Let me go ahead and refer to the pictures as I read. So that, you can see some of the work that's ongoing. The reinforcing steel for the foundation slab has been delivered on site, and the concrete block for the walls has been delivered as well.
As a reminder, at this campus, besides the, on that ledge, can you hand put that one? Right there. In addition to the new administration area and the new classroom wings that are being constructed, we're going to go ahead and construct the new gymnasium. It's going to be funded out of the general fund with a resolution which has already been approved by the board to reimburse the general fund, again, if proceeds are available at the end of the current bond construction build out. So it didn't show there, but we are going to build a gymnasium right there.
So, yeah, right next to the wing.
Right next to the existing classroom wing.
Yeah, right here.
No, it's further.
Yeah, it should be,
Oh, right.
right.
Okay, right there, yeah. Yes, sir.
On the west side of the classroom.
How much land do they have there?
Troutman has 10 acres.
It is 10 acres?
Yes,
It just seems tight.
it is. It is tight.
It seems narrow, right?
It's narrow, very long.
It's narrow,
Yeah.
and that's what makes it look tight.
Is that Munoz out of San Antonio?
Yes.
Architects?
Yes.
And they have been meeting with us on a weekly basis and visiting the site as well. Okay, the next project is Newman Elementary School cafeteria expansion and canopy enclosure. This project is approximately 2% complete, and the contractual completion date is September 8, 2016. On this project, at the new kitchen addition area, exterior site work, the removal of existing existing soil at the new kitchen and dining addition area, southeast side of the school. Excavation of the area began after debris was cleared, and the contractor has been filling the excavated area with new improved fill as per recommendations. And second part of this project, the canopy, there is no work yet in that area. This gives you a view of the area that's been filled for the expansion of the cafeteria. Any Any questions? Okay, the next project is the middle school number 10 off of Highway 359. This project is at 4% completion, and the completion date is March 31st, 2017. The project site continues to be excavated and ongoing site work. Any questions on it?
And where is this one located?
This is off Highway
359.
Behind the flea market or East Transportation Complex?
Okay, now reporting at South 9th Grade Campus. This project is approximately 23% complete, and contractual completion date is July 15, 2016. This area, you can refer to the legend of the map. Pretty much the entire building is being worked on. At Area C, a CMU wall placement is in progress, a steel structure placement, and ductwork installation as well. And the Area C second floor, we have pretty much the same CMU wall placement, structural steel, and electrical roughing. The Area D, we have a CMU wall placement, structural steel placement in progress, and installation of electrical and roughing in progress. The second floor of Area D, the CMU wall placement, structural steel, and installation of electrical roofing, as well as Area E. Over in Area F, CMU wall placement, structural steel, and installation of electrical roofing, and Area A, plumbing roofing is in progress. These are some snapshots of the building from different angles and different areas. Any questions on the grade? All right, the next project is United 9th Grade Campus. This project is just about the same percentage as United South, 22% completion, and the completion date is December 10, 2016. And this project, we have pretty much the same phases of construction ongoing, with wall installation, placement in progress, ductwork installation, CMU wall placement, structural steel, electrical roughing throughout, as well as plumbing roughing. And these are some snapshots of that project. Any questions on United 9? Over at the Food Production Center, we have a freezer expansion project ongoing. That project is approximately 10% complete and scheduled for September 31st, 2016. Substantial completion. At the present time, the foundation has been poured with rebar in place. Installation of CMU block has started. Existing metal panels on exterior wall of freezer have been removed and form for the new headers in place. Preparation for existing freezer connection is ongoing. And on the site work, the existing sidewalks have been demolished and are prepared for addition of new sidewalks. And this is a key plan of the existing building and the addition that's being worked on the east side of the building.
How many square feet is a freezer?
The square footage approximately like 1,500 square feet. It's not a very large expansion, but it does connect exactly, right up to the wall, the existing wall. And see, we have a picture, but we do show where they're starting to break that wall. This is some of the CMU that they're already starting to build up the wall. But there's the opening.
The second picture, zoomed in. It'll be connected to our existing cold storage area.
It's just like a specialized type of construction with the type of construction that's going in is for the conditions, of course. It's like a panel type of construction that is going to be installed to maintain the temperature.
I was doing the freezer expansion.
Like
It
construction.
just seemed like it was a long time for a small, like 1,500 square feet, you know, like long time for completion.
Yes,
There was quite a bit of site preparation. The site work was extensive.
And he said it was
And then
specialized
the-
construction.
The foundation is insulated. The panels, since a lot of the components are prefabricated, as far as the cold storage units, we have to wait for the deliveries, manufacturer delivery of those components.
That's where we want to be in July.
the last project to report is the Clark Middle School band hall addition for expansion. This one just got off the ground, so we're at 1%. The contractor is already staged, and it's started some demo work. This project is scheduled for September 11, 2016. And it shows here you're going to mobilize, and it's going to put the construction fence, protect the area, and start some of the excavation. Show the key plan of what we're going to add to the existing band hall on the northwest corner of the building. That wraps it up.
Thank you,
Any questions?
Just tell me, how's everything going? Has the weather been good? Is everything, everybody
Yes, the weather has
cooperating?
helped. The weather has helped considerably, and you know, they're taking advantage of that as well and working weekends to just be ready, because you just never know.
It may rain this week.
Time flies, that's the reason,
Right.
man. 3 days, I can't believe we're already Christmas almost, I mean, Halloween almost, and this, once that gets here, everything just goes by, so. Hopefully we'll get some more percentage in there.
Yeah, we should be seeing, these smaller projects I show with the small percentages are the Seymour, construction manager at risk, and pretty much just got those off the ground. They're a little more challenging because we're having to work with these existing conditions, but we've already met with principals, staff, and everyone else, designated the area, staging, routes, all that's in place, so we should be moving a little faster.
And really limited hours
Yeah.
because of students
There's
occupying
students there, things on the,
as well as staff, so
Yeah.
on the
working
remodel.
around that is a little more challenging.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bond program financial report, Mrs. Benavides.
Good evening, members of the committee. We're bringing to you our up-to-date financial report. And really, from last month, we did issue over $9.3 million of purchase orders. If you look in the safety and security upgrades section, we did issue a PO of $300,000 to Vision Construction, and it was those specific schools that we're going to start working on. And I don't know if you've had a chance to go see the security station at the Veterans Elementary School. It really looks like, it doesn't look like I want to say a sore thumb. It's really part of the building, and it's a very, it got embedded really well into our new school design. But there we added $300,000. It was a purchase order that, it was an item that had been presented to this committee in July. And then further down under additions and renovations, for Arndt Elementary, we issued a purchase order over $2.5 million. And you saw Ignacio's presentation where this is where we're adding an actual wing. Portables had to be relocated. And this was brought to this committee in April, awarded to Line Decker Construction. And so that is moving forward. The other purchase orders was Newman Elementary as well. You saw also there, that's where the expansion of the cafeteria and enclosing some area of the campus. And then also the Troutman Elementary. And so that also was awarded, presented to this committee in May. And then also we're going to come back and add the part of the gym that actually is going to be funded from general fund. And then we'll set up we'll set up the accounting part to make sure we're keeping track of when we can reimburse ourselves. The items that you see that, on Veterans Memorial Elementary, where we said we did have the savings, there's other line items that we're going to start closing. In fact, we have a meeting tomorrow between Ignacio, Mr. Angel, Echo Perez, and purchasing. And we're going to make sure that all the purchase orders have been issued and really see what outstanding balances are left. This also will give us a clear picture of what we're going to need to order for the next elementary. How much are we really going to need in furniture and equipment, the technology, the wiring. And so we really have learned a lot from this first elementary that we made. The different change orders that were brought, they will be embedded into that project as well. And as we're going to the other elementary schools, I would say by the fifth one, we'll really have it down. But again, will we have savings? You see here at Veterans Memorial. We just have to work out the accounting part on it. I know you see an overdrawn account, but pretty much there probably is more than $800,000 that Mr. Angel was talking about that we want to add to the Alexander project in the savings, the $800 and some $1,000. I think eventually, not right now, but as you see the 9th grade campus is being, as far as they progress, probably we would be able to eventually maybe decide that maybe the design costs, at some point they're pretty much designed. The savings there maybe can be moved over to some of these projects that we have said we'd like to, recoup our savings. So we're going to be keeping an eye, and as you can see, the numbers are starting to come in higher, and a lot of movement in our financials. So I don't know if anybody has any specific questions.
Well, this might be just a elementary question, but you are making sure that this is within the bonds, scope of work when we're doing extra stuff and trying to get reimbursed by bond money, that it's within the scope of what is allowed legally, right?
Well, again, the projects that we're asking to get reimbursed for 4 years from now or 5 years from now were not the original scope of work when the bond proposal was put together. That's what we're saying. If there's funds available after everything else that was included in the original scope of work for the bond program, once all of that is done, if there's anything available, we'll reimburse the general fund for items that we constructed that were kind of outside the scope. For example, the gymnasium at Troutman Elementary, and the ones we're talking about here at Alexander.
Yeah.
Only if funds are available. If they're not, then the general fund eats it 4 or 5 years from now.
Now, we
Because
do have
when
bond
you do
counsel.
bonds,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yes.
The bond counsel reviews, and actually he prepares, like we tell him, this is what we need, and he prepares a resolution so that, anybody can't come and say, well, you know what, you're using these proceeds for, what you didn't say.
They weren't available.
Yes, what you were gonna, we told the voters we were
What you
gonna
told
use
the
it
voters.
for.
Right.
So he, that it's an official document that actually gets presented to the board, and they have to take action to approve the resolution. So we will be preparing a resolution to address the Alexander now, the additional bond projects.
Or like the gymnasium at Troutman.
Right.
That's the one where
Yes.
Mr. Montemayor came and asked us about that.
Right,
Correct.
and we took the actual resolution to the board, and they approved it to allow us to, I guess, recoup our savings in the future, but it was an actual resolution to reimburse ourselves.
So basically, if you use general fund monies for bond-related projects, that's the reason the statute or the law allows you to reimburse.
That's
Yeah,
fund back with
there's an
savings.
extension of time that you
Right.
can.
You couldn't
that
do
type
that
of
just for
transaction.
any,
That's correct.
it would have to be related to the bond project.
And again, only if there's anything left over. If there's not,
Right, then we just.
that's it.
General fund.
We swallow it. That's correct.
Yes. And I think that's why, some of the additional things that you saw at Alexander, administration felt strongly, you know what, that's not really part of the bond, really, the things that were added, yeah, like the tennis court, that was something we'd always wanted to do, and,
Main
you know,
entrance.
right,
Not what we strictly
right.
general fund.
Right.
So that's
But-
not.
That will not be even considered for reimbursement.
Right.
Right, but everything else, you know, adding those 16 acres really gave us so much room to modify
some
the
things, yeah.
existing plan, that those we felt were bond related. So, I don't know if anybody has any questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anything any member of the committee would like to bring forth? Okay, then let's set the date for our next committee meeting.
Could possibly have it November 17th.
Okay.
I'm sorry, November 16th, that's the number. Makes it close to 4 weeks apart.
I guess the 9th or the 16th would be the only,
Right after that, it's,
right, the 9th or the 16th would be the only.
16th, okay. Does that work for y'all?
sure. You know, as we get closer up at the meeting, we give us, Ms. Haynes and make sure we finalize it on the road.
Thank you. Did anybody sign up for public comments? No. Thank you. Okay, then this meeting is adjourned at 7:09.